The family of a young Wisconsin man who died from an asthma attack has filed a lawsuit against Walgreens Pharmacy, its parent company, and pharmacy benefits manager Optum Rx. They say their son didn't refill his prescription for an inhaler used to control his asthma because the price soared to more than $500 and he didn't know his insurance no longer covered that drug. Cole Schmidtnick's parents, Shannon and Bill Schmidtnick, and their attorney, Helen Lawless, join us now. Thank you all so much for talking with us. Shannon and Bill, I'd like to start by just asking you to tell us about your son, Cole.
Cole was 22. He was just starting to get out and be independent. He loved video gaming. He was an avid gamer. He streamed every single night to his quote unquote fans on Twitch. He streamed various video games and would talk endlessly with his friends through streaming. Cole was an avid music and movie lover. He would often ask me if I had seen this movie or that movie, and I'm not an avid movie lover, so he was often disappointed when my answer was no. But he would be sure to make sure I saw whatever movie I needed to. Cole's friends described him as adventurous.
Cole, like millions of Americans with asthma, had managed his condition with medication most of his life. Who or what do you blame for his loss of life?
Well, just to put it kind of simply, as we've learned things since his death, we feel there's been some circumstances caused by the pharmacy benefit managers in the pharmacy he went to of, greed, deception, maybe not following your internal policies. And that's kind of where we went and what we've discovered more over the last few months.
We reached out to Optum Rx about Cole's case, and they told us Optum Rx also has available clinically appropriate options and formulary information when a medication is not covered on formulary, including Advair, Discus, formulary alternatives with member copays as low as $5. Have you been able to determine whether Cole was offered an alternative or a generic option?
As far as we know, he never was. That's as simple as it goes. I do know his formulary, and it wasn't an option on there that I could see.
We should also note that we reached out to Walgreens for comment as well. They told us due to pending litigation, we are not commenting. Helen, what kind of resolution are you seeking from this lawsuit?
Well, thank you for having me, Lindsay. First and foremost, we are seeking to obtain individual justice for Bill and Shannon, who have suffered the unimaginable loss of their eldest child. But beyond that, if this case draws attention to these vital issues and prompts conversations about broader reform, which would need to take place at a legislative level, then that's vital as well, given the PBMs, including Optum Rx, serve so many millions of Americans across the country.
What do you think, Helen, should have happened when he went to his local pharmacy and then they said, oh, it's going to be more than $500 for your inhaler, and then he says, oh, I didn't realize that my insurance company didn't cover that? How should that conversation have concluded?
Sure. So the failings start before then, in that Cole was not given the notice that he needed in order to request an exception ahead of time to avoid that scenario in general. But once you arrive at the pharmacy, a pharmacist also has a duty to do their due diligence, to contact the doctor, to contact Optum Rx directly, to offer the alternatives as discussed, to make sure the patient doesn't leave the pharmacy without being able to afford a preventative medicine that could save their life.
Shannon and Bill, what's your message to others who may be in a similar position with their insurance no longer covering or raising the price on crucial medications?
Well, simply, we wish we would have knew more. Cole was very independent, and what we would wanted to tell him was ask more questions. Simple as that. Don't accept the no at the pharmacy counter. You're going to get different experiences at different pharmacies. They're not all the same, but always ask the questions. That's the best thing we could say.
It's certainly helpful to share your story, and we thank you for doing it. Shannon and Bill Schmidt-Neck and Helen Lawless, really appreciate you talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linsey.